Dirtle Magic. Hello and welcome back. You can follow our post on Twitter and Facebook at DirtleMTG to stay up to date on our latest videos and other posts, and you can join a more robust discussion about casual Commander at our blog, TheDiceBag.blog. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content to help the channel and the blog grow. Another way you can support the channel, though, is through our affiliate links in the description below. If you're looking for single sealed product or gaming accessories to protect all of that glory, please consider clicking the links in the description. Now, grab some spells, it's time to dirtle. Hello and welcome back to Dirtle Magic and this episode of The Dice Bag, which is going to be a reading of my blog post from TheDiceBag.blog. If you want to go check that out in its entirety and its writing, and any of the other posts on the blog, please go to TheDiceBag.blog and check those out. In this post, I wanted to go over my top 10 picks for the set Innistrad Midnight Hunt for Commander specifically. I like to wait a bit and play with the cards to see what might actually work and what might not after a first glance, and all through a casual lens of both function and flavor. These will be in no particular order, and I won't be looking at Commander cards, i.e. legendary creatures or planeswalkers, or the made for Commander cards here. First on the list, to probably no one's surprise, is the Meat Hook Massacre. There's something to be said about the dread this card could invoke, since it seems to be the aftermath of something terrible. Things are usually only named after the fact, so it has to be from experience first. This card in particular picks up on the vibe, and on top of that, functions as an extremely durable piece of incidental life gain and loss tacked onto a board wipe. While powerful on its own, it can also be easily manipulated in decks such as Time Luminous Enigma or Madroltha the Gravetide, where it can be recurred again and again. Madroltha in particular allows you to pay for the X, whereas Time allows you to potentially keep killing creatures depending on the build. It can work in a number of other decks as well, of course, and being a generic enough card to be almost good stuff, this gets a mention on the list. The next card is Fateful Absence. This card kinda loses on the flavor front, as it only offers a glimpse of what's going to be happening supposedly in the upcoming set Crimson Vow. However, where this card shines is in the mechanics. At instant speed, a problem can be dealt with for a reasonable cost and a very reasonable downside. Really, it is no downside at all with all the card draw abound compared to the problem you would be facing otherwise. It should be mentioned that this is in white, and while white can take care of anything, this being cheaper than Hero's Downfall and more splashable than cards like Dreadbore are where white might make a small but noticeable niche among the other colors. All in all, a good include for removal in a deck if you have a Planeswalker problem. Geistflame Reservoir is the third card on the list. Innistrad always stuck out to me not for its overall flavor or its many good quality card designs, but because I could shoot people with ghosts. Well, occasionally. Geistflame Reservoir can offer decks with a lot of spell swinging and interesting threat of "Do you want to target me? I will melt your face" for a measly 1 and red mana to activate the card in response. Much how I abuse the same tactic with Shrine of Burning Rage, this card offers a quick crackback response to anyone who wants to risk interaction. Likewise, it can also be used with some top deck manipulation to get another card you might want to cast. While this card won't be good in every X and red deck, it'll be awesome somewhere, and the question will have to be asked, do I want to take 20 to the face? Next up we have Flesh Taker. If you're someone like me who chooses to use almost no tutoring effects outside of ramp, then this card might be for you. Besides being creepy all on its own and invoking the horror movies of yesteryear, using this card inside a strategy like Aristocrats could simply scry you a card you need, much like Limdol's Vault can, to the top of the deck. At that point, and a draw ability, you can set up your board for an immediate or near immediate win. The life gain on the card is nothing to forget about either, and can be triggering a number of effects like Regna the Redeemer or Karlov of the Ghost Council. For our next card, we have Moonsilver Key. I know, hold on, wait a minute. Yes, getting only basic land is really not that great for 3 mana in Commander anymore. But that's not why we're here, and why it's on the list. This card says we may get an artifact card with a mana ability, which means a whole new world of options for most decks. Do you want the Great Henge? The Moonsilver Key can grab that for you. Pyromancer's Goggles, Crowded Crypt, Midnight Clock. The Moonsilver Key offers a good tutoring effect to get out some monster mana rocks with great supporting abilities. I don't think this card should be overlooked when building a deck, since it fixes your mana and then some, and is my personal favorite card on the list. Next up, I'm technically cheating, it's the Adversary Cycle. I'm going to lump these cards together because most of them are great additions to decks that need them. Each brings a decent effect with it that scales through the game, which makes them flexible at any point to cast. Ideally though, you want to cast each with at least one payment into their extra triggered ability. The white Intrepid Adversary seems pretty lackluster at first, but acts as a scalable anthem effect, which human tribal loves, and can create possible winning board states. The blue Spectral Adversary can act as a panic button removal for a turn at instant speed. The black Tainted Adversary doesn't win anything for style points, but can win on sheer power production and tribal synergies. The red Bloodthirsty Adversary can bring a swift end to a game depending on the spells retrieved, and the green Primal Adversary grants even more power than the black one to the field, with the drawback of making your lands more vulnerable. The flavor win here comes from the art itself, with each featuring the main subject with the remnants of another left behind somewhere in the background, making this one of the most visually cohesive cycles made in a while. Mechanically, these win by having the scaling ability, with the opportunity to recur or blink them for more uses later, though some work better than others. Up next, we have the Facade, the Mask of Grizzlebrand. This card is a nice nod to a very popular demon-designed Grizzlebrand from the original block of Innistrad, and also kind of an obituary to its demise in Commander. The flavor is there, and the mechanics are just as simple. The equipped creature gains Flying and Lifelink to offset its second ability, which is when the equipped creature dies, you pay life to draw cards, where both are equal to the power of the creature. While it grants no power on its own, it can provide a threat and opportunity to reach out and smack a player, while offering some return on it for being interacted with. It's still also one of the few equipment that grant lifelink. Our next card is Augur of Autumn. Many conversations have been had about this, comparing it to the Courser of Kruphix. I think overall, the Augur of Autumn is actually better, because it has a higher ceiling outside of landfall decks. This card allows the same land plays from the top of the deck that the Courser does, but hides that information from opponents. While that may be trivial in most cases, playing mind games with your opponents could make them respond in less than effective ways to your plans. Augur also trades away the life gain for possibly playing creature cards, and that is often something green wants to be doing both of anyway. Our next inclusion, at number 9, is Croaking Counterpart. Such a card drips with the flavor of just being silly. For that alone, it may make this list and any list, and so it would be fine. However, not only is the flavor of this card entertaining both by itself and in contrast to the darkness of the set's overall tone, it also serves a similar purpose to Cackling Counterpart. Simply, you get another of something you have, a creature in this case, but it's a frog and a token. In a trade from Cackling though, this is a sorcery and can be flashback for 2 less mana. This is also green-blue, which makes it less splashable in Commander, but it fits perfectly well within its colors. And last but not least, we have Can't Stay Away. This card doesn't have the immediate flavor of the previous include, but it has some flavor nonetheless. What I like about this card is it is cheap recursion, which is really something I can't remember at this price since things like Animate Dead or Stitch together. While it does have the downside of only bringing back a creature with mana value 3 or less, it does have flashback to do it again, and there are many good targets at mana value 3 that offer great utility, or even certain commanders like Alessia or Kethis. You might want to duck the cost on sometimes by recurring them instead of paying the commander tax. My only concern is if Mono White will ever get a version of this for itself at 2 mana. When going through the set spoilers, I didn't see a large number of generically good cards for the format, and that is something I consider to be a good thing. Taking more time to forge our own decks will let us enjoy them more, and hopefully more of the cards meant for Commander will continue to be in other products instead. It will give us the best of both worlds, where we can have ourselves catered to with a particular product. Or like this list, where we have to search out stuff that might be good and give it a try without being objectively a slam dunk. I hope you enjoyed this somewhat short video. If you're interested in reading any of the other blog posts that I publish, please again visit TheDiceBag.blog, and if you'd want to support the endeavors here on Dirtle MTG and other places, please consider using our affiliate links in the description below. Also let me know if you'd like me to produce more blog posts in this fashion, so you can listen to them if you don't have time to read them. Until next time, stay safe out there.